Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
Welcome, Leicester Fan TV Live. It's one of those rare moments where we've got everybody, or a lot of us, in the same room. Not everybody's here. Simon's not here, John O's not here, Jake's not here. So we know not everybody can get in at once, but it's great to have Jamie all the way from the Fox's Arms, of course, out in Acudia.
1,200 miles. It better be worth it today.
It better be. Well, hopefully the pub lunch after's the
best. Oh, that's good.
I know that's where it's come from.
That's the only reason we do it.
Yeah. And Tom's obviously come up as well.
Yeah, good to get together. It's nice to do this last year, and it was as soon as the opportunity came, we said let's do it again. So yeah, all good.
And we've got Sam and Reedy, of course, here. Guys, we haven't done a tactics talk this week, so today's going to be a little bit about obviously the Brighton game, who we're going to pick. Jamie, let's start with you. I think the big thing for Sunday probably is Buonanotte seemed with El Canous to look like maybe that's the solution to our attacking midfield, and then Buonanotte can't play because he's I was going to say cup tied, but it's whatever you call it, low tied.
Against his parent club, he's not allowed to play, is he, against Brighton? But yeah, they look like a decent partnership, didn't they, again on Tuesday night? I don't know how it's going to work. Maybe put Canous in the middle where Bonucci was and Mavididi in his place and play down there. I don't know, but they did look a good, strong partnership. Both battling midfielders. They looked a little bit lightweight. Could have done with a bit of a steak meal like me and Tom have most nights. But yeah, they look a little bit lightweight, but the dudes, they're good on the ball. And I think El Canous is very similar to James Maddison in a way. Not the player, but he's got the creativity and he can pick a pass. And I think that'll make a difference when we get the big chances. And if he can keep feeding Vardy like it was Tuesday night, well, go on to something good there.
I mean, obviously, if you're watching this live, put in the comments below who you think should play and anything you want us to chat about, put it in, and obviously we react to it. Tom, I thought El Canous looked a bag of spanners against Everton in his debut. One of the worst debuts I've ever seen, but he seems like week in, week out, he is definitely growing and getting a bit better.
Slow but steady, let's put it that way.
Yeah,
I agree. I think the Everton game, I was a bit disappointed. It does take time for the foreign players to come over and adapt to the Premier League, the physical side of it, especially more, and the pace and the power of the players in this division, and you have to get to grip for it quite quickly. I think Sir Alex Ferguson always said if you sign a player in January from abroad, you won't see the best for him until the following season. I think that's something that I see if you look at it that way with El Canous. He hasn't played that much. I think the game against Chelsea, we started to see what he was about. He was dribbling past players for fun. He was creating things. He's still a little bit off the ball where you need to put the ball, but he was getting there. Disappointed he wasn't playing against Brentford, if I'm honest. I think he deserved, out of all the tier players against Chelsea, he should have started in that game. But then Ruud van Nistelrooy comes in and probably gives him that little bit more confidence that he's picked him in his first game. He's playing on the left wing. And let's be honest, it wasn't just his forward play, it was his defensive play as well. He was tracking back to a point where Buonanotte was about to go off, and he's put his hand up and said, no, I need to go off now. I'm done. I can't run anymore. And he goes down and they get cramping off he goes. But his performance is up there for man of the match for me. And did he get it just because of what he did in that game, winning the ball back and starting the plays off? But El Canous was well close to getting that man of the match performance for me with a goal and an assist. Maybe wearing Jamie Vardy socks helps him in the long term, so keep wearing those socks.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What did he do then?
He needed some grippy socks, and apparently only
grippy socks.
Grippy socks. The grippy socks. Grippy socks were.
Grippy socks. For some reason, they stick to your boot better, the inside of your boot better. For some reason, we didn't have the Minardo Phil playing.
Looking to get matching socks.
Yeah.
Grippy socks.
Apparently grip better. The only one stick fine was Jamie Vardy. So at the end of the game, obviously, of being interviewed, they go, and what can we ask about why you got JV on your sock, Jamie Vardy socks? And he said that's all they had basically. But Jamie was like, you can keep wearing them if you're going to keep performing like that. So
it'd be good to see if he did. I always remember Vardy with obviously his wristband strap, and I thought that was a good luck charm. I'm surprised he didn't carry that on a bit when he broke that.
His wrist got better.
Yes,
just keep wearing it.
Yeah, it's part of his almost style, wasn't it, for quite a long time. Sam, you and Reedy obviously do the tactics most week. Let's start with you first of all. If Buonanotte's not going to play, Tom was just saying there about El Khanous tracking back and putting a lot of effort in. Mavididi, Jamie says, could be the replacement, but again on Tuesday, he didn't look that much at getting back, if you ask me.
No, I thought in his 20-minute cameo he made against West Ham, he looked tired. You know, he barely played many minutes in that game, and he was puffing a little bit. And obviously not tracking back, you know, there's a couple of times where it was his ball to go and win, or, you know, come back and help the left back, and he was still on the halfway line. So I think it's a big opportunity for him that he could start against Brighton. And if he is going to start, you know, under Ruud, that he needs to put in a big performance, because, you know, it's a fresh start. And I think Mavididi's been subpar so far this season in his first 13 games. I think he's shown glimpses of what he can do, but I think he might need a manager to push into the next level, and hopefully Ruud can do that.
Because you two, we argue quite often about Mavididi, don't we? I'll let Reedy have his say in a minute. But Reedy was almost demanding that Mavididi should start a few games and all that. I think me and Sam see a different Mavididi, where I compared him to Damari Gray, where I see some good stuff. I see some stuff where he just doesn't look interested. What's your two's take on him?
The only thing I can think of is that Ruud van Nistelrooy, when he was at PSV, I know it's a totally different league and his tactics might need to change. He played with wingers and he fed the wingers a lot, and they would drive into the byline and put in crosses over. And that's the kind of winger Mavididi is. He's not really the defensive side. So whether we see that in the future, in the next few, I think Fatah and Ricky P, if they'd been fit, would have loved this style of football. I think that would have been brilliant for him. But I think at the minute, Mavididi will be the one over a couple of weeks that you'll see him coming on more and more, and they'll be playing that wingers down the wing, getting to the byline and putting the cross, the old-fashioned wing play of getting it over. So I think you'll see a lot more Mavididi. But that's my thing, that's how he used to play with wingers. More on the front foot, get the ball out to the wingers and get them to drive.
But what do you think to Mavididi? I mean, last year he had a decent season.
This year, yes, he had a decent season last year, but this year, like,
is he Premier League quality? That's our big debate.
With me, it's 50-50 with him at the minute. He's got to grow into it. He hasn't been. It's the first time he's been in the Premier League. He hasn't been at any top clubs that have really given him his go. So hopefully, this will be the first time he'll be able to show. And like same with El Khanous, it takes time. And probably with Mavididi, he's a bit laid back, isn't he? We've all seen him in the clothes he's
That's
why
very laid back. Grayish.
Yeah. So I think you need to build. And Damari Gray never got to that point, did he? He never came to that where we thought he was going to be. Hopefully, Mavididi can go past where we think he's going to be. But I think he will come good eventually. But I think it's just got to bear with him.
I'll come back to Tom's views. But Reedy, you tell us, because you do big Mavididi up to us a lot.
I think because now Fatou's out, and with the option of either McAteer or AU, there's no one else on that other side in the left spot that for me can take that role in that winger role, that if it isn't someone out of position like a El Khanous or Buonanotte. So for me, as much as I know Mavididi isn't consistent, he hasn't really done too much this season already, but I would compare him to when Mahrez first joined, where he just was very inconsistent, but he makes that moment of magic that could change a game. And for me alone, that for me would be the reason why I would start him on Sunday. But then I get the point of what Sam says about maybe putting AU in there. But for me, AU is not a starter. He's a impact sub coming off the bench. And
again, we disagree on that. But
I think that's my opinion. And
yeah,
I do think he's not a 90-minute player. He's one who comes on and does change the game, because he can't beat a man, in my opinion. He isn't a threat going forward, in my opinion. Yes, he has scored goals, but I think a lot of them are down to moments of a game. And that again, that's why I think he's an impact player. But yeah, for me, Mavididi has to start.
So if you're watching this live, get your comments in on Mavididi. We'll get some on screen as soon as we've got some there. Tom, I just want to pick the bones out. Reedy's just used the words Mavididi and Mahrez in the same sentence, which
when they
gives me a brain fart to start with. But I want Mavididi to succeed. I think, of course, we all do. But I don't know.
Look, let's not get wrong. The first 13 games, no player has really turned up and done that well this season, if we're honest.
Manson.
Yeah, Manson's the only one, the goalkeeper, who shouldn't be the one doing it. He's the one keeping us in the game. But if you looked at everyone else, you wouldn't say anyone else was a standout performer on that pitch. Vardy, maybe because he's scoring goals still at 38 and he shouldn't be the one having to do that either. But look, Mavididi has got all the ability, he's got all the quality to play in the Premier League. We've seen it in glinted. We saw it against Aston Villa when he came on, because he didn't really start much at the beginning of Steve Cooper. The first few games, he was a bench player and came on here and there. The Villa game was the one that really turned. Obviously, he got the assists for the goal for Buonanotte. He then scored in the fixture at Palace away, I think just after half time. And you're sort of thinking, he's just starting to get his feet now. Then again, he gets dropped. So it's a tricky one. I think it's very if and buts at the moment, what I've seen. Going into the game on Sunday, I would play him. I'd bring El Khanous into the middle of the park and play him as the 10. I'd give Mavididi a game on the wing. I know you lot will say, are you? I just still think that sometimes he slows the play up too much. It might be different with a different manager. We don't know until we see it. I just feel sometimes the ball goes into RU and it's 2, 3, 4 touches and wins a foul. What's great, but the way Van Nistelrooy played, and you looked at it on Tuesday night against West Ham, it was very much get the ball, one touch, ping it wide, one touch, ping it wide. We were looking for the wingers very quickly. The goals have all come really from wing play and getting the ball wide or getting through the lines a lot quicker than we've done all season.
It's probably why he chose McAteer over AU, because he's got more pace. He's got that speed to get past players. I think that's maybe a big reason why he's done that.
But he chose McAteer over Mavididi.
Yeah.
If you looked in the second half, and like Cooper was very stubborn with that's how I'm playing, and that's the end of it. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Van Nistelrooy did change at half.
He made changes.
He made that tactical switch, didn't he? Yes.
It ain't working. You're not getting past your man, and you're not doing that. Right, let's switch him over.
But then the manager of West Ham put Wan-Bissaka, changed Wan-Bissaka over. So,
but he still, it still made a difference. Look where the goal comes from.
The
goal comes from McAtee going down the left and then pulling the ball across the box for El Khanous to score. I just think Mavididi probably, you can play him on the right, you can play him on the left. He got both feet. I just think you need to run a game with a manager who believes in him. You talk about PSV. They had Matsuwake as the winger there when Prude was there. Look at him now; he's flying. He probably going to some of these young talents. We got to say young because he's only 25. Mavididi. He's still got plenty of years in there.
He's 26.
24, 26.
Yeah.
But he's still
young. Compared to some of us.
Some of us. He's young. I mean. But for me, at 25, 26, you should be about there.
But again, this
is his season to do it.
Really, for me, this and next year's make or break. If you don't do it when going into your 20s, 27, that's it. You're not really going to go any further than that.
Yeah.
But I just think under Van Nistelrooy, who will believe in him, I think he'll put an arm around him and say what he wants him to do more and less of. He might even say stop with the step overs. I always look back to Van Nistelrooy as a player when he played with Ronaldo. Ronaldo turned up, did 25 step overs and got the ball in the box. After about 2 games, I always laughed because there was an interview where Van Nistelrooy, I pulled him to the side and tried it, went, pack it in. And Ronaldo went, oh, what do you mean, pack it in? Pack it in with the step overs. 1, 2 step overs, get the ball in the box, we'll score. Don't need to do all these flicks, trip skills. 2 step overs, cross it, I'll run to the near post. First game, 2 goals from that position. Maybe this is what Mavididi needs, is someone who will just say, stop with all the flicks and tricks, get 1 touch, do a little step over and whip it in for Vardy, Daka, to be on the end of it.
Yeah, better choices.
Better choice making.
You know, you're talking about tricks and flicks. I noticed, I'm just thinking about it now, there wasn't many at all. Where all the games I've seen this year, everyone's been trying the tricks and flicks. But on Tuesday night, there was hardly any. Whether he's
more direct.
Whether he's actually said to him, being more direct. He likes being on the front foot, he likes playing the front foot. And these tricks and flicks sometimes on the edge of the box. What was the game where Buonanotte did it? Tried to dribble it out the box. Tried to dribble out the box and with a few tricks and flicks.
Didn't do any of it.
Get rid, old school, get rid of. I think Rude's told him that don't do that.
I mean, Sam, I would. I like Ayew, but I would agree if we're going to play a little bit more on the front foot, I would pick Mavididi for Sunday against Brighton. We're at home, and I think fans want to see more of what we saw on Tuesday.
Yeah, so you get the decision to play Ayew because fairly consistent. You say he's done it for many years in the Premier League, but I would probably agree. His speed and what he can do, I think he is more impactful when he comes on off the bench for the last 20-30 minutes of the game. And Mavididi can be good. It took last year that it was a few games where you saw that tomorrow Gray in him, where if he couldn't take his man on, he would then stop and he would stop playing because if he couldn't do it, then he wouldn't do it and he would stop. So hopefully he needs someone like Rude and like Tom was saying to just play football. It's not all about doing step overs and fancy tricks and. Mavrididi's, I'd say, one of his issues is he's very good at taking on the man getting past the man and then waiting for the man to come back and do it again because he wants to do it,
Again.
2 times over. So I think if he does play against Brighton, I'd like to see that directional football where he's just on the wing, takes on his right back and gets it in the box, because I think that's our strength. So when you've got both Vardy and even Daka who can break from the halfway line with their pace, and we saw it against West Ham when Daka did it for his 3rd goal. That we've said for the past 4 or 5 years, we've never played to our striker's strengths under the end of Rodgers and managers after that, even Cooper. We've never really played that counter-attacking fast football. So hopefully, if we start to play that, on the break football, Mavididi, Daka, Vardy, they can all start to get more goals going forward.
I mean, where we were watching it, me and Sam sit together, and we love watching this sort of Enzo-style defensive passing it around, but then Claudio Ranieri type get the ball forward.
There was lack of backward and sideways passing, wasn't there, on Tuesday night? I did notice that as well.
But I'm going to ask, Reedy, was this because West Ham played such a ridiculous high line? I'm like, what the hell are they doing? Because it was pretty obvious after even the first 10 minutes, I thought, they were defending almost on the halfway line, which when you've got Jamie Vardy there, and then when it was Daka, those little counter-attacking balls, how much of it was Leicester on Tuesday? Is that the new model going forward? Or was it just West Ham are not in a great place and didn't play very well?
See, when I first got back in the car after the game, I said to you, I thought we had more possession because I felt like we had the ball a lot more around the back and whatnot. I was very shocked. We didn't have that much possession. But I think the passing was a lot better. I think the balls through the middle, which I don't think we ever tried really under Cooper. It was always kind of out to the wing and then back. I think I think it was more down to Rude and.
Yeah, but I'm saying, are we going to be doing that against Brighton and other teams, or was it just West Ham playing?
I think you were right in saying that they had a high line, but I do think we broke away and had a lot of counter-attacks that they couldn't stop either. Like I say, I watched a lot of the West Ham channels saying about what their reaction was to it, and they were just saying that they just can't shoot. And again, if you give Brighton or any other team 31 shots, like we did with Bournemouth, yes, we got lucky and won that one for me, but I don't think you're going to concede only one with 30.
So another thing with that, the effort.
Yes,
that's what I'm going to say. The effort. They had 31 shots, and I think 11 of them were blocked shots. Mm-hmm. Now, to throw your body on the line, there was a lot of people even James Justin was throwing his body on the line, which I think he's got lack of confidence. He's not just being a bad player overnight. I think it's just confidence. He was playing right in front of us when he read it, and his touch he didn't want the ball, did it? It looked like he didn't want the ball. But to throw yourself in the line and block shots was something which we haven't seen for even last year under Enzo. They weren't really blocking shots. Under Rodgers, didn't happen. Now they're actually throwing the bodies on the line.
But we played well. I thought we played well, but I also think we were lucky that West Ham. I mean, 31 shots, Tom.
No, I was going to say
that's a better team than West Ham would have.
Yeah, a couple of things
would have won.
Yeah, I think the big things I picked up was one, before the game, our training routine, our warm up had changed. So we obviously did the passing one, but then our shooting changed. We didn't just go and stand in front of the goal and hit it at little 1-2s and someone shoot. We had people in places. So you had like Christensen and Justin were both on the 18-yard box on the edge of them to cross the ball into the box. You then had 3 different systems set up in the edge of the boxes with Buonanotte, Skip was in there, Ndidi, all the midfielders, Vardy, all practicing little 1-2s around the corner, and then running back out, and then the ball coming in from the wingers. Then another one would pass it into them and they'd lay it off for a shot. We rebounded, they followed it in and tried to score. It was very much already, we're on the front foot. This is how we're going to play, but you're going to be in there, you're going to be there, you'll be there. If these come out and it, deflects to one of us, one of you boys won't have to be in these positions. It was like we already had a system in place how to play. Yeah. What we haven't seen all this season. That was a big difference. Yes, we were completely lucky, and I said that after the game. We got very lucky with the way West Ham was so awful when they're shooting, because on another day at half time that could have been 4 or 5-0 at half.
Well, they did it at the post, didn't they? Yeah. Hermansen, which we'll talk about Hermansen in a minute, but
there was enough in that performance to say we can pull away. We can move up the league, I'd still say. I think there was the biggest thing for me, we were playing with a spirit about us. There was a spring in our step between the players. Yes, we made some poor decisions with the ball, but that's going to come with the new manager and the new style of play. But the biggest thing for me was they looked happy.
Yeah.
I don't see players on that pitch who had looked happy all season.
I know. Yes,
And
I agree.
This season,
Frustrating for me.
Oh,
I
yeah,
find
yeah,
that
it's
frustrating
fine,
because
I think
it's
we are.
like, but
I think
good to see.
it's good to see a team that they looked happy with what they were trying to do. And yes, the chances we conceded, Rude after the game wasn't bothered about the 3-0 win, and the win, he said it was good, but I can now concentrate on how we stopped that many chances created for the opposition. What great to hear from manager. I think we all agreed towards the end. We all knew what Cooper was going to say after every single game. It was so repetitive.
Well, I think it's pretty clear he'd lost the dressing room.
Yeah, even in the pre-season and everything, every year after the first couple of games, it was so repetitive. Where Rude was straight to the point. Yeah, it's great we won, but we need to concentrate now on building our defensive structure and how we're going to play, how we're not going to concede 31 goals again. Because he's not daft to know that if we concede 31 goals,
31 goals,
31 shots,
31
shots then we're going to see goals at some point. I think going into game against Brighton, we got a massive advantage considering that Brighton only played last night. They got battered 3-1 at Fulham. They'll have today to go and have a rest and recovery, Saturday morning to train,
and travel,
and then travel
again
to Leicester. So they're not going to have long to turn around. Where Leicester have had
a nice little
2 full days of rest and recovery, going into possibly a small training session yesterday, big training session today, training session Saturday morning, and then fired up for the game on Sunday.
And not far to travel.
And that's the thing about it. That home game is crucial for
There was one thing I was going to say about what Tom said. He said about the performance, but Rude in his first press conference said, "I would rather have results than style and performance."
Yeah.
Now that is very old school-ish. It used to be all about results first.
What we've said,
instead of performance. Just recently, this modern day football, it's all about performance.
Yeah.
The results will come. Now Rude's trying to say that he wants results first, and then performance will grow. The defence will change. Who would have thought Connor Cody and Vestergaard would have started?
I thought Cody.
Did you see that goal line clearance?
Yeah, right. But I actually thought Cody. We said we were watching Cody, not when he got the ball necessarily, but when he hadn't got the ball, and he was doing all the old school "come on everybody" and shouting. He was actually acting like what we've been lacking is a leader, a captain. He was talking and he was saying, "Come on, guys," not moaning at them like a wild fans when he's let a goal in or something like, "What you doing?" It was a proper "come on, lads."
And when Vestergaard went off, did you all go, "Oh no"? Because FaZe is coming on.
Well, he didn't come on. I don't think FaZe came on and was amazing at all. He did a couple of mistakes, and I thought we were better without him. But
for me, I've said for a long time, we needed to go back to the basics. And yes, we lack pace playing Cody and Vestergaard. But at the moment, you haven't got to be about the pace. It's about how you structure it. That means you've got to sit 10 yards deeper like we did. You sit 10 yards deeper. I don't think that's how Rude would want to play. I think Van Nistelrooy will be all about stepping 10 yards higher up the pitch, a bit like West Ham did against teams, and closing people down from the front, try and nick the ball off and score goals that way.
Yeah.
But I think at the moment, while we're trying to settle the team back down and stop conceding so many goals, he will go with a Vestergaard-Cody partnership because you've got so much experience in that back line, and you need to try and help Justin and Christensen with their defensive work. So having those two experienced players in the back line with a youngish goalkeeper who's not played that many games in the Premier League, it's a good recipe at the moment for me. And then you've got players to come in, your Ockleys, your Fazes when you need to. Ockley for me will feel very unlucky, but I think at the moment in time, that partnership of Vestergaard and Cody is crucial to try and pull us away.
Do we know what was wrong with Vestergaard? I haven't seen anything reports about.
I just think it's match fitness. I think it was fitness, and I think he was tired.
He did take a knock, didn't he?
That block he did in the first half that I thought was clear tapping, and then somehow it didn't go in. For me, again, another reason why.
He hasn't played that much for us this year. He's played more games internationally than he has for us. Again,
it's just a bit of a dead leg, but sometimes dead legs can take a while.
But he came on at the weekend, didn't he, quite early into the game, and then he played near the full game at the weekend, or 60-odd minutes. So fitness-wise, he isn't going to be up there with the rest of them because he's only been playing every 4 or 5 weeks for Denmark. So, again, build his fitness levels back up.
I will mention what Jamie said as well about Rude saying he wants the result over the performance. I felt like we got both on Tuesday night. I felt like the passing was good. I thought the creativity was there, and obviously the result was there as well.
I would go it's a B plus. I'll go with it's a B plus, room for improvement. I mean, after 2 training sessions,
I will say it was a big reasons why the midfield was there, because Ndidi and Sumari both together for me. I've been slating Ndidi all season. because of how bad his passing was. But when,
Well,
when he's in his role,
yeah,
with someone like Samara next to him, I thought he had.
You got to remember,
fantastic
Enzo
game.
didn't play in his role for a whole season, and then Cooper's not been
But
playing.
that was in the Championship,
Yeah.
so that was a different kettle of fish.
Let's get, if you've got some questions, put them in. We've got lots of questions coming in, and anybody can jump in on this. Scooby Baz says, and anybody can answer this, would you take Harry Maguire in January if he was available? I don't think he's playing for United, is he?
No, I wouldn't.
I would take him back, but they're probably going to want a lot of money, and he's going to want 300 grand a week, isn't he? He's
Yeah, but don't loans 50? Don't the home club pays
Some of it.
Some of it.
If it's on loan, I would take him.
I think I'd take him on loan. I think you take him on loan.
I mean, he's a leader.
But would he? Yeah.
He knows the club.
I think
He's a quality. He's better than any
a lot
defender
of people
we've got.
say he's a clanger, he's this, that, and the other. For me, at Leicester, he was superb because he didn't have the pressure of the price tag.
He's always been good for
He
England.
comes back to Leicester. He hasn't got the pressure on him again. He can play the way he was doing before, possibly till the end of the season. Yes, of course, you can take a player of the quality of Harry Maguire. People slate him for what he's done at Man United, but there's a lot of pressure when you go to Man U for £90 million. And
So Reed is a no.
but it doesn't work. No, not everyone's going to say yes now on this.
He'll stick with Wout Pies.
But I
Now,
just think
Tom-
it's an upgrade on Wout Pies if you're going to look at
Now
it.
Tom said it that way. Yeah, I can see him fitting in as a loan, but as an actual
not a
signing, I can't see. But as for a 6 months loan, yeah, the way he says it, he's got no pressure on him. Yeah, I can see Harry Maguire coming back and doing this, but as an actual full-on signing, maybe not.
Terence says he'll accept winning ugly if it keeps us up.
I think we said that,
all
Phil,
season.
for a
All
long time.
season.
A long time.
All season.
See, it was old school. Get done for that. No,
I know,
it's not like that.
people are now
nowadays.
buying into it. Scott says here, do you think DeCorva Reed could play the Buenatti role?
No.
Not really.
He's more of a
wing
He
back.
looked better.
He looked better,
under
yeah.
Ruud. I felt like he was less constricted when he came on. Obviously,
Shame his
found
goal was
himself in-
disallowed, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
found himself in the right position, but a 20-minute cameo against West Ham when the game
Sub
was
at
done
best.
and under. You can't really judge him from that.
I can see what you're saying about VAR in the ground. Ain't it bloody awful nowadays?
I've told you. It's like
It's
you've
not-
got
At least,
no
on, at
idea
least on
what's going
TV,
on.
you can see what's happening. There, you're standing there twiddling your thumbs like, come on, what's
But
happening? What's happening?
the only way I knew that goal was I was watching the bench.
Yeah, I was.
And the bench went mental about 20, 30 seconds before
Yeah.
the referee gave it. And
For
they were all-
Vardy's
For Vardy's
and
one,
they
and
were
then
all pointing at VAR. The VARs were looking at them going, what? And they were all going, it's onside. Get back.
And then the Decordova Reed goal, you could see them pointing back towards the goal.
Get back.
Yeah.
No, meaning it was an offside.
Yeah.
I mean, Vardy's goal, by the way,
I
mean,
thought
we're
it was
in the
offside.
stand.
I
Well,
thought
you're up in
miles
Leeds, Scott,
offside.
aren't you, or whatever?
Yeah.
he didn't even look close. And I even think Vardy looked like he stopped and just stroked it in as though he was just going through the
It was
motions.
because literally their last defender had that one leg sit.
But
Yeah.
he got miles
It
off.
did from us. The
He
angle
didn't
we
even
were
really
at.
stand up and jerk if
So the angle we were at, it looked miles off, didn't it?
I thought it was closer than you probably thought, but again, it was the way he ran. It like Vardy always does. He kind of comes back to go again.
Yeah.
It was always debatable, but I thought the
Well,
one
the
not
step back, didn't he?
As Glenn Hodder pointed out, put it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the chance.
Yes.
and
But he
put it away.
definitely
How many-
relaxed
How
when
many
he
tried
did
to
it.
go, oh, I don't know, and then scuff it wide or don't put the chance
Mhm.
away. Put the ball in the net, and then it's up to VAR to make the
It was
decision.
like that John Joe Shelby one a few years ago for Newcastle.
Yeah,
It was.
Sheffield-
Everyone thought it was offside. They all
Sheffield
stopped. Oh, it was for Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all stopped, and he put it in the back of the net, and it was ran half the length of the pitch and put it in the back of the net.
Sheffield United grabbed the ball, put
Yeah.
it down, and referee went, no, we need to check it. And then went and checked it, and he'd like 3/4 he's miles on the side of
Yeah.
Sheffield United would go, mental, how?
Put it, finish it.
You
Play
got
to the whistle.
The
Yeah.
problem with that is the
Another
fact
old
of-
school. Play to the whistle.
The
Yeah.
problem with the fact is a lot of the refs now get told you don't put your flag up until the end of that play
But
goes.
that's what they said. If
But
it's
half
close,
the time they do it. I'm
the
like,
problem is- but then there's other times where it's miles offside and they don't put the flag up,
Yeah.
and then someone's, like we said before, someone's going to end up getting seized hurt.
Yeah.
The goalie's going to come out and clatter someone,
Yeah.
and then it's going to be, oh, I can't send him off because he's offside. But he's clattered someone and possibly,
Yeah.
worst case scenario.
I think it's better they don't put the flags up. Here's one. Reedy can take this one.
Patson Daka.
Yeah.
Hey,
David Fellows says, Daka is back, baby. He's getting a brace this Sunday. Jamie Reed, talk about Patson Daka.
hey, I've always rated him. I didn't feel like he was ever going to do it at Leicester after the last couple of years, but
But he's done one thing now.
But once you, like Sam said, we've never had that ball over the top to either Vardy or Daka in the last couple of years, and his run to win that ball back and get past his defender was brilliant. Yes, it was high line, but he had to get his foot in there. He had a chance beforehand where the keeper got close to him, so he couldn't really get it in. But
there was just going on that, I think with Daka, it's confidence, like Nacho used to be. Nacho used to thrive on confidence, but Daka was the same. It was one just before, about 5 minutes before, the ball went over the top and he miscontrolled it completely right on the edge. And the keeper got it and he went down like a bag of spanners and nothing. And went out. But then that time, he won the ball. He won the ball, fantastic touch, got around, and he had a chance to go at him, dropped his shoulder, done with the defender. The defender went one way and then left foot in the top corner. Very good finish, cracking finish. It's confidence.
He took it well, didn't he, Sam?
Yeah.
We want to see more.
Yeah, got no issue.
A lot more.
We spent £25 million on him, and he's been a Leicester player for 4 years. So I want him to do. I never want a player to do bad. I think it just takes. I mean, maybe it takes the right person to get a player thriving. I mean, Vardy never.
Rude wanted him, didn't he? Rude wanted him.
Did you see that?
Yeah, PSV, didn't he?
Yeah, Rude wanted him at PSV. So
manager striker, of course, he's going to show him how to shoot the ball.
Well, yeah,
but
he might learn.
I know Reedy will disagree with me, but Rude's not done that much in 2 days to cause that. No, it just shows that Daka does have that in his locker, but he's got to do it a lot more.
I think he's a better substitute player because he can be the more pacey player when he comes on to try and be impactful against their defence. But I get what you mean. I don't think we did a lot, but in comparison from what we did with Cooper in charge to what we did against West Ham, for me, was light and day, in my opinion.
But it might be just being Daka's head. Oh, Ruud van Nistelrooy. Oh, he's our new manager. Oh, he wanted me. Oh, right. I know he enjoys me coming on. He fancies me when I come on.
The thing what stood out for me against West Ham is we weren't relying on Vardy to link the play.
Yeah.
Vardy wasn't coming deep to sort the play out.
There was none of that, was there? No.
The only time he was dropping into pockets, there was a ball going long onto his head to try and win. So there was not main passing against feet. If you ain't going to get Daka doing that kind of stuff, you've got a different kind of game, and hopefully, seeing that Daka will see these reports of Van Nistelrooy wanted him, and he probably said to him, "I wanted you at PSG."
Yeah. It's good stuff to come out.
It might just give you a lift.
Yeah.
Look, not get that way. It was a great finish. It's a good shuffle because he does this descender and gives himself an extra yard to put it in where he wants to put it. But he's got to do it now on a consistent basis and gets through in a game because we've also Jamie Vardy ain't going to last for years, and
he could be that.
You've got
4 years late striker we needed.
Find a replacement for Vardy eventually. So Daka knows he's got 1.5 years left on his contract. Got to start putting some big performance in if the club are going to think of giving him a new contract. We wasted money with Nacho, mind you, getting him a big contract after he ended the last one.
Wouldn't surprise me at all with Jamie Vardy if he leaves at the end of the year, because he only signed a 1 year contract, didn't he?
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me at all if he goes to somewhere like Saudi Arabia for 2 years.
Big rumours that he gets
gets money, 2 years money there.
I've looked at it this way: if Leicester stay up and Vardy breaks the 150 record in goals, that'll be the end of it. True. I think that will be the one to say.
Well, he needs 5 for 200 and 9 for 150, doesn't he?
I think
in the Premier League.
Think if I can keep Leicester in the league and finish in the top 10, then that's what a way to bow out. Then finishing up, if we get relegated,
season in America or I saw America would suit him.
But get relegated, you could see him going, I'll give Leicester one more season to try and get them back in the Premier League, and then I'll be done. Because I don't think you'd be able to do it another year round.
No.
Let's have a little chat here. The councillor says, good evening. Why didn't Mads get man of the match against West Ham? They have 31 chances. Who wants to have a chat about Hermansen?
Go on, I'll go first. I would say there was every single person on the pitch nearly was man of the match in my opinion. Yes, there was a few players that you'd say shown to be the actual man of the match. Again, I gave it to Soumare or El Khanous. I know, I'd say Will probably did deserve a shout because I think he had 10 exceptional tackles, wherever it was, and it was in the top 15 of how many tackles you got in the match. So he did deserve it. But yeah, there was just other players with me that was a reason why we didn't see as many.
Really, generally, how good has Hermansen been this season?
He's been our best player, in my opinion. Other than you could probably shout for maybe Buonanotte so far, but Matt Hermansen. For me,
would we all agree Hermansen has been the best player?
I think so.
He has. I said after last season that I think if he continues the way he's going, and I think he's probably top 6, top 7 keepers in this league at the moment because of how well he's doing.
I would say he's well.
I'd say in the next couple of years, for instance, when Edison goes or Alisson goes, he could be that next.
You're flogging off players already.
I think you'll find he'll go Chelsea at the end of this season.
Maybe so.
For a goalkeeper to receive the most goals in the Premier League and still being talked about as one of the best players in a club and in a team shows you the level he's playing at the moment. Because if you look at the goals he's conceded, most of them have been nothing he can do about them. Where he's still week in, week out producing top class saves. things we're talking about Alisson, and we're talking about, you know, the Man City goalkeeper doing. You're talking about world-class goalkeepers here. He's not. He's literally just below that bar.
He's doing this every week, so it's not like it's not normal. Like we're just used to it now.
Yeah, for a
that's why it's not a man of the match performance. We know how good he is. So,
but for a goalie to stand out week in, week out, seeing so many goals, but still being raved about in by agents, by coaches, and you know, scouts watching him. That shows you what kind of goalkeeper we've got on our hands.
He doesn't make many mistakes, does he?
No.
You know. And what have you watched back the one against West Ham where I think he does get just the slightest nudge where he drops the ball and it goes in? For me, in today's world, that is a foul.
He only gets a nudge because he nudges the player into it.
Yeah, but
I don't think he was.
A bit of a
I haven't
actually seen it. I've seen it on the night, but I haven't seen a replay of it yet. But it did look a little bit soft.
I think he completely just missed his punch. I know he got a bit of a not a shove. I just thought he tried to do that and it made him pull away.
And did he gives the player a little nudge? The nudge then pushes him into Mads.
I mean, it's right in front of us, Sam. What's your take on it?
There's obviously a lot of leniency of keepers, isn't there?
Yeah, you can't touch
any little thing that happens to a keeper, they're going to give it a free kick straight away. I think it was soft, but I mean, I'll take it. Well, it would have been.
If it was against us, you'd be annoyed.
Oh, we would.
Yeah, probably.
Panicking. I think that counted. I think that would have been 1-1 at the time because that was just before we scored.
Was that then?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I thought it was a bit later than that.
That was before we scored the second goal because literally a minute after that we subbed off.
His phase came on,
Yes. And
then obviously we scored them from that next attack.
I mean, he made a save against Brentford in the first half. I don't know if it was 1-1, but the one where he had to reach right back and then almost pour it over.
He did that against West Ham, didn't it? Exactly the same thing. Deflection and it looped. And
he has made some really, really tough. He's definitely the best keeper since Casper, and at some point we'll debate.
He's in the goal of the year.
Well, yeah, much really.
He's in the save of the season, save of the month.
Is he?
Yes.
On Match of the Day. Which one? The Brentford one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll win it, but yeah.
I mean, he's a different keeper to Casper.
Yeah.
So
in ways, I think he could be better because of his distribution.
Possibly.
Yes.
Well, there is distribution. A lot of it is very short, whereas Casper's was a lot more.
Although you noticed that the keeper was punching it more.
Yeah.
Out his hands than off the ground. I don't know what difference that makes, but he seems to be punching it more than normal. I haven't seen many. I literally just said to someone, the bloke sat to me next to me, and I said, "Don't often see many keepers punch it no more." He went, "No," and then within 10 seconds, he punched it. I went,
"There you go." He must have urged you.
Must have.
You got your mic'd up through to Rude and punt it. Give it a boot.
Long ball.
Old school, long ball. Rude likes doing 4-4-2. Seamus just defensively likes doing it.
Yeah. Right. Listen. Before we wrap up, let's get a. Is there any other team bits we need to discuss before Brighton? I think it's effectively.
I think Sumari has to have a word about because I know.
Who are you going to replace him with?
I'm saying he wants to say how good Sumari is.
Oh, yeah, well, I'll tell you
he's
what.
had 3 years of saying how good he is when he's been total rubbish. But now he's actually doing well.
He's not been playing in the right position.
I'll let Reedy have his moment.
I think in his role now where he can be that box-to-box player, but then really get stuck into players when he can. For me, it shows how since he's come in this season, I don't think he's really had a bad performance.
I don't think quite as ravey, but I see improvement for sure.
There's improvement. I don't think he's not had a bad performance, but there is improvement.
I don't see how Winks is going to get in there with them two playing in that game.
Yeah, I think Tom might agree. Yeah, great having them two in, but the one that drives us forward is Winks. They pass the ball to Winks, and Winks.
As much, I was going to say, I think as much as we were all right against West Ham, let's not go wrong. With times, especially at Brentford, it was very similar. We got cooked wide open because at some point, Ndidi and Samari had both got
the wrong
side of the ball too many times.
Slow.
Where I feel that if you say to Ndidi and Winks playing there, or Samari and Winks playing there, you literally say to Samari and Ndidi, depending who's there, you are sitting deep. Do not go past the halfway line. Just do the basics. You are there to screen that defence, basically. We miss Winks in my view because he is the quarterback. He's the one who links the player between the lines, and because he's got that vision to do it, it does make a difference. I think most of the first games he's played for us, I think Cooper wouldn't even admit it, but at most teams were putting a player on Winks. If you watch most games, they had someone go and stand next to him so he couldn't get the ball and couldn't distribute it as well. And very rarely he made a mistake because every time he got the ball, there was someone within 30 seconds of him getting it. I think if you get someone to do the Ndidi well enough and get the ball to him quick enough, Winks then can play the natural game through the lines for me.
Who do you, if he's fit for Sunday, who do you take out?
it's going to be controversial here because he got man of the match, but I would start Sumari on Saturday. I think his confidence levels are starting to go through the roof. I'd start Sumari and Winks in there. I think the difference between Ndidi and Sumari is I think Sumari gets around the park better. I think he's a bit more mobile. I also think he's got a bit more drive to get away from a player. He can win the ball back, but also he can run. The tackle on the halfway line the other night when he ran back, halfway the pitch to stop the player going down the line.
Who's that?
Sumari, yeah.
In the second half.
But then he couldn't tackle. He couldn't really tackle him because he was on a yellow.
He still stopped the play. He didn't dive in and think I'm going to get another yellow here. He stopped the play. He stopped the bloke breaking.
I think a lot of people have not an agenda, but from what they've seen in the past of him, they kind of say,
it takes a lot of
Sumari, you've got to do this better. You've got to do
I've
this
seen
better.
2 years of rubbish.
No, I get
That's
it.
what my agenda has been.
I get it, but then
I've seen
I
a few games of okay.
You have to give him a kind of a bit of a clean slate and say, now you are doing better, and hopefully you can continue.
I agree. I mean,
you see at times where he's not running back and people like that. It's like that's what he did before, but now you can see he is tracking back. He is trying to get stuck in a bit more.
Controversially, could you play Winks in the 10 role?
No, not when you've got Canoe. Not when
I mean just on Sunday. If Winks is fit, instead of moving Canoes into the middle where he had a decent game out
as long as it's not Ndidi in that role.
No, it won't be. That's what I just said. I'm not talking about Ndidi.
No, I'm just saying as long as
move Winks to there and play him as a 10, just against Brighton.
Yeah.
Just because Ruud did say his tactics will be to the team, not a set tactic. Not like Enzo's was that never moved. Whatever Cooper's was that none of us knew what it was. Ruud will have. He did say that he'll play against the team. The tactics will be against that team, not the same.
But why did he play El Canoes and Buonanotte, one being out on the wing when?
Because I think it's
is it because Fatu is out?
I think Fatu out. I think he's seen enough potential in probably a training session about what people have talked about. Look, Ruud van Nistelrooy would have come into this club, and I can guarantee the first day he would have sat there and watched video of players and looked about how we need to get forward more. Looked at Mavadini, probably seen hit and miss so far this season. Looked at El Canoes game against Chelsea and thought, hang on a minute, why did they drop him against Brentford? He actually had a really good game. He knows what Buonanotte is about. Everyone can look at Buonanotte's stats from Brighton. Last year, 36 games. What he's done this year,
he's done better than this year than everyone.
Exactly.
Seems like it. Yeah.
You're not going to. You've got to get more creative through the lines. You've got to create chances. You only do that with your better players on the pitch at the moment. Confidence-wise, those two are your confidence players. Yes, they are young. You're going to have mistakes in the team, but sometimes you've got to put a youth in there to try and help the team go through the lines quicker. And like we said, if you play you slow the game down. We saw that against.
I do agree with that.
I mean, who is it who said? I'm no point asking these two. It's either Bill Shankly or Cloughie said, "Don't change a winning team."
Shankly,
you know Brian Clough.
Yeah,
you've heard of Bill Shankly, haven't you?
Bill Shankly.
No. I know.
Anyway, what do you know? Which
I can't remember who said it, but I do not change the winning team.
So my logic is stick with that team. Of course, Buonanotte's coming out, so just put Mavadini in for Buonanotte and keep the rest the same. I don't care if Winks is fit. If he's recovered from his dancing on the stairs in Copenhagen, that's great news. But I'd leave him out for a bit because I didn't like what he did.
Yeah, but then again, if you put Winks where Buonanotte was, you're not changing the rest of the team by moving El Canoes into the middle and Mavadini. You leave El Canoes there. And
leave everybody where they were. Just you've got to replace Buonanotte.
Yeah.
One of the other classic sayings, so these boys won't remember it, is Brian Clough, weren't it, when he turned around and
said, then, young man.
Football is a beautiful game. It should be played beautifully. If football had been made to play in the air, God would have given the wings balls. He would have given him wings to fly. He wants it on the floor. They're the classic ones, remember?
I'm disappointed that Tom started off with an attempt at a Brian Clough and then gave up.
Then he went back into his Leicester. Yeah.
Now then, young man. Now then, young man. They've got no idea.
No, they haven't.
They're like, what? The King Power after a game when he came out after, and he wasn't well at the time, but even just talking to him for 30 seconds, you can imagine playing for him. And
didn't have a screen jumper.
Yeah. What he would have been like as a manager.
He's still one of my favourite characters ever to be in the game. I love listening to him. Do you listen to some of the ex-players interviews who say what he was like? Anyway, we're not going to turn into Forest fans.
No,
with a Brian Clough.
Yeah, Reedy's there.
Reedy's like, yeah. Reedy is the Forest fan hidden amongst us.
Go on then, score predictions before we finish.
Change of topic. Right then, let's start Jamie's score predictions.
Well, before the West Ham game, I wouldn't have been too confident about it, but then we beat West Ham. Brighton lost last night. 2 days training for them, less than 2 days training for them. it's got to be a home win. It has to be.
There's a chance.
Yeah, I think there's more than a chance because they're going to be shouting. I'm going for a home win. I think we'll concede. So I think we'll probably the same scoreline: 2 or 3-1. 3-1.
You took out mouth. I was going to say 3-1. Confidence will be high. Looking at how they did last night and how poor they were at time, and the 3 goals they conceded were all poor. One of them was a mistake playing out from the back, and Fulham capitalised from the first goal. I'm very, very confident going into the game. Was quite surprising after one game, but I think Rude now having 4 training sessions with them before this next game, it'll be another step up hopefully. And look, it's going to take time. Let's not get carried away. It was a good win to get the win the other night. But
I'm talking about getting carried away. Reedy was like a giddy school kid on Tuesday after the match.
Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Well,
The game was on Tuesday.
Yeah.
on the way home.
On the way home.
On the way home. Sorry.
Yeah, on the way home. He got in the car and he was like, "Oh, it's amazing, and the world's amazing," because he's flip-flopped all over. And then I said, "Oh yeah, we're going to finish top 6 now." And I was joking. Oh, we're going to finish top 6. And Reedy actually went, and started considering that. And I was like, "Reedy, I am."
You know, just before you on the score, but one thing I forgot about the West Ham game was, when was the last time we had a chant for a new manager on the very first game?
We said within 8 minutes there was a chance.
There
There was a chance. 8 minutes. We were like, "Oh." Talk about the fans going from one extreme, not giving Cooper really much of a chance to.
Well, we did.
Rude's just here. We're going to sing for
We
him.
did mention that we didn't announce Cooper in the ground the first game, did we? But we did with this one. I don't think we said, "Oh, here's the new manager."
Yeah.
Did Rude come out to?
Yeah.
Did they?
Did, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You were in the concourse drinking.
No, I
probably.
wasn't. I had the car with me. I wasn't drinking. You all know that.
It was after the light show.
Go on then, Sam. Score prediction.
I think we're due for a very good game. I think we're due to not concede and to score a couple. So I think if you're going to do it against a team like Brighton, who are flying at the moment. Obviously, they had a bad result last night, and they're going to be leggy after that match because they've got a couple of days where they have to go probably from London back down to Brighton, then back up to Leicester. So it's going to be a lot of travelling in those 2 days amongst trying to squeeze in a rest day and a training session. I'm going to say 2-0 because I think we're due, like I said, for a game to not concede. And hopefully with Rude being in charge for about a week now, that defence looks better against West Ham. Hopefully it could look even better against Brighton and a home match again.
So if you're watching this, put in your comments your score predictions. Reedy?
Oh, here we go. How many Daka going to get?
I'm going to go. You know what?
Here we go.
You know what? He's building up to like.
I'm confident because of Tuesday night, so I'm going to go for a 4-2 win.
Oh,
4-2.
4-2.
4-2 win.
Where do you pick that one from?
Is Daka getting all 6?
I think we're going to score, but I don't think we're going to. I think we're going to concede a few as well. But I'm going to 4-2. I'm going to say El Kanous brace and an assist.
And here we go. And
Daka to score 2.
Oh, here we go. You knew that was coming, didn't you?
Can't help himself.
It's been a bad week. That would have been an awful week for Brighton. Drawing with Southampton at home, losing to Fulham, and if they lost to Leicester, I mean that would take all the momentum away.
Well, I would actually only be 6 points behind Brighton, and they're in 7th place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say yes. I'm excited. We got Rude and all this and that.
So we're up there. You're going to drag us down.
The reality is I'm going to say it is a draw against the team in the top 6.
That's not awful.
Is more than good after where we've got.
The confidence we've had in that Tuesday game. Yes, it wasn't the prettiest, and yes, we probably could have conceded more, but
they lost. Brighton lost away at Fulham. Fulham are in top 6 as well. They're doing well.
Yeah, we will be
it's not embarrassing.
We will be buzzing on Sunday.
If you,
yeah, we will be. But if we play anything like we did against West Ham,
that'd be the one that's hit them drawing against Southampton the week before when they've got to, if you look at Southampton tonight, they got battered by Chelsea 5-1, I think it was in the end.
Yeah.
But
if you're Brighton and you want to be hitting where the Chelseas are and stuff like that, what they keep talking about, you've got to be picking your wins up.
They're a very up and down team, and they can beat someone easily and then lose to someone.
But against West Ham, we let 31 shots.
That's what
if we let half that, if we do twice as well and give them still 15, 16 shots, they're definitely going to score.
If you had said on Monday, I'll give you 4 points from the next 2 games, you'd have gone, thank you, I'll take that.
I would have taken 2 points. I would have taken 2 home draws, and to say that is bad, but with a new manager coming in.
Yeah.
Joseph says 3-1 to Leicester. Terence is with Reedy. You're agreeing with Reedy.
I know. Joseph's agreeing with me, though.
Crying face, but I'm not sure. I mean,
he's probably upset he's agreeing with Reedy.
Scarlett says, I think we'll win convincingly. I'm going 3-0 with a Vardy hat-trick.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
2-0 Leicester. Terence is actually going for 1-0 to Leicester. Dave Fallows is saying 3-1 Leicester. Joseph is saying 3-1 Leicester. The councillor says a hard-fought 1-0 Brighton will be stronger than they were against the Fulham defeat. They've got a good manager in there. Mark says 2-1 to us. It's going to be close. My logic is a point is solid. There is definitely now the mood amongst fans and probably the players.
Oh, it's
that we could win.
I was there for the Chelsea game, and the atmosphere was terrible. And then I was there for the West Ham game. Unbelievable. There was like two sides of the coin. One was down here, and one was up there. And it's like, wow, the difference. The difference is
under Cooper, I would have gone into this Sunday game thinking there's not much hope in this game. We've not got any chance of winning.
Mate, if Cooper was still at the club, we wouldn't have beat West Ham.
No,
because we would have conceded and crumbled.
Yeah.
Even if we were winning those games, we would have crumbled because our defence is so poor.
But that's the difference.
That's the attitude of players, though.
That's why I'm on such a high now. After that Tuesday, yes, again, it wasn't the prettiest, but we won it by grinding out it.
The Cooper appointment in the summer is very underwhelming.
I don't think they had much choice.
No, I know, but I'm saying, but now you look at the difference. There's an excitement between the fans. Yeah. Everyone is buzzing that we've got such a big name come in than what we had before, and nothing seemed from the beginning of pre-season to when Cooper went. There was no excitement around.
Well, we got FFP and all sorts.
Yeah.
I'm sure if we didn't have the FFP, we'd have got a different manager, and we would have signed some better players than we have done.
No, of course we would.
I think some of the players what we could get
down as well.
Yeah.
Let's not put all the blame on Cooper.
No,
the players have let us down because I think the players are giving Cooper a go, but after about 7 or 8 games, I think they all gave up on what he was trying to do. As soon as that happens, it's not a case of down at all. I don't think they believed in what he was trying to offer. Van Nistelrooy come in, and I can't see Van Nistelrooy being the bloke. Well, seeing that he had them in on the Sunday after we lost to Brentford and basically,
which they didn't like,
then wrote them
told them it's not good enough.
Brilliant. I think
too right.
Makes what you need. The respect will be there as well. You're talking to a bloke who played for some of the biggest clubs in the world, Man U, Real Madrid. He's a big name. Players will react differently to a big name, I think.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us here and your score predictions and all your views. We're off down the pub now.
We are.
Yeah.
Working hard on a Friday.
It's
Friday lunch.
It's Friday.
Really, you're coming down the pub, aren't you? Are you old enough?
Yeah.
We can talk to him about Martin O'Neill, Brian Clough, all these legends. Ali Mocklin. I was like,
Ali. You met him the other day, didn't you?
I met him the other day, yeah. So we can tell them all about that, and they'll just be like glazed over, and they'll be on the phones looking at TikTok anyway. So
There will be.
Thanks everybody for watching. Maybe you'll be doing a TikTok.
Probably.
Yeah.
We'll be doing something. Right, we'll see you all later.
Something like that, isn't it?
Do that again, Jamie.
It's something like that, isn't it? Something like that. Like the old Macarena.
I think you should stand up and do
I'm not doing the Macarena. No.
Come on, Jamie. This is
not
your one
doing that.
chance. Live.
No, rather not have a chance.
If he can do it, you can get a job.
I'm not wearing that Spider-Man outfit. You must be joking.
We'll see you all soon.
Yeah.
See you on Sunday.
See you Sunday. Come on, Foxes.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.